This is Skip Lockwood, and you're listening to Mets Musing. I was a pitcher, a relief pitcher, a closer with the New York Mets. I have a new book out called Inside Pitch, Mets Musing. Thank you very much.
This is Len and Jeff from Baseball and Barbecue.
And the one place to go for New York Mets news,
Past week game reviews,
upcoming series previews,
interviews,
analysis,
opinion, and what's going down on the farm. It's Mets Musings with Gary Mack. So keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets.
Mets Musings with
Gary Mack.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
And hello and welcome to another edition of Mets Musings, episode number 328. And I don't know what to say anymore. I just don't know what to say. Let me put the switch over here. Swept by the Cubs, swept by the Orioles. The Orioles, the worst team in Major League Baseball, and they come in here, win 2-1 and 1-0. The offense is non-existent from this club, and is Cespedes going to make that big of a deal when he comes back? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. And the defense was poor. The bullpen was better these last couple of days, but not good. Starting pitching has come around. If you want to take a positive from this homestand so far, the starting pitching has been good and starting to extend into games. That's a good sign. Matz looked good. Vargas looked good. Wheeler looked sensational. But they couldn't score for them. And you can't win unless you can score something. You can't have pitchers going out there trying to pitch shutouts every night. It's too much pressure put on them, extra pressure that they have to put on themselves. You have to get them something. 2 runs, 1 run, anything. It's just terrible. It looks like a team going through the motions. And that's on the manager for that. He's got to get these guys ready to play. You know, you watch a post game with him and you got to wonder if he's even got a pulse. Well, the guys are ticked off and they're working hard. They're trying hard. They're pushing. It's tough right now. No, I want to see somebody rip the office apart. Break a chair. Yell at a player. This isn't working. And the lack of fundamentals, you know, it's really incredible. Cabrera tries to bunt the other day. He's got no clue how to do it. The bat's up in the air. Ball goes up in the air. Well, I don't they work with these guys? Zario strikes out. He's swinging at stuff 10 feet off the plate. They said, well, he's learning the strike zone. Isn't he learning in the minor leagues? Isn't it what development of players is? Shouldn't he be learning on those levels? What the strike zone is, what a good pitch is, what a zone to hit in. that stuff's not getting done in the minors, then something is wrong. And that's where they've got to address a lot of these situations. Next year, spring training, if Callaway's still here, he's got to go and do a 1950-style boot camp spring training and get these guys into sliding pads and the sliding pants and have them build a sliding pit and have these guys go practice sliding. Don't let them hit until they can bunt. But Scrappy Sandy, he's all about the old guys that used to be able to hit home runs that can't hit them anymore, but maybe can hit them. And so what if he can't play defense? We don't really care about defense. Doesn't matter anymore. And what happens if he strikes? Strikeouts doesn't matter. Not in today's game of baseball. It doesn't matter. You got look at Aaron Judge. They rave about this guy. He's a good ball player. He struck out 8 times. 8 times in a doubleheader. Yet he'll be an all-star. 8 times in a doubleheader. Him and Stanton are battling each other for the American League lead in strikeouts. Yet, because he hits home runs, strikeouts don't matter. It's just another out. What's happening? This is not the game I grew up with. Look at the Mets. They strike out or pop up all the time. Or hit into the shift. They're great at hitting into the shift. Move the guys over there. They'll hit them right to you. Don't worry about it. Don't exert yourself. Can't anybody hit the ball the other way? Can anybody take a half a swing and hit it where Willie Keeler used to say, hit them where they ain't? If they shift on you, hit it the other way. All you got to do is tap the damn ball. There's nobody there. These shifts, that's another thing that's ruining the game of baseball. Double plays are being missed because the guys are in the shift. They can't get to the bag. Pop flies are not being caught. Foul pops are not because this guy's way over on the other side of the diamond. It's crazy. But yet the Mets are great at hitting right into the shift. All the time. They hit him right to the guys. The guys don't even have to move. Something's got to be done. We got the Yankees coming in. As much as we try to stay optimistic, I'm looking at a sweep. In all reality, I can't figure out how they can put enough offense together to beat these guys. Now, anything can happen. And the craziness of this Mets season, they could sweep them. But I don't see it right now. They've got it all set up. They've got the better pitching. But can they get any runs for these pitchers? That's the key. And that's what we don't know if it's going to happen or not. It's just plain nuts. I've never seen a team this bad offensively. And again, I hate to repeat myself, but this team is constructed poorly. Just look at the bench. Jose Reyes doesn't belong to be here. And I know they're talking about releasing him, but some people want to keep him because they feel he owes a better way out than just being unceremoniously released. But you can't do that now. This is a team that is in a tailspin. If you've got somebody that can do the job and do it better, you have to bring them in and keep them and get rid of the other guy who's not getting it done. And frankly, he's not getting it done. And if you think I'm annoyed, I got a phone call this week, and I also got a voicemail from our good friend Sean in the UK, Great Britain. And he's upset. You know, there are a lot of good Met fans and baseball fans in Britain. And they're upset. And these people, they pay for the MLB TV. If they watch a game live, it's, don't forget, a 7 o'clock game here starts at midnight there. Sean watched the game yesterday, which was 5 o'clock his time, I think, or 6 o'clock when it started. It was a 1 o'clock game here. So there's a lot of sacrifices these people make over there across the pond to watch these games. And I got to tell you, Sean was a little upset. And we're going to play the voicemail. You can hear some of it. You can hear the passion. You can hear the, I wouldn't say anger, but the, come on, guys, do something attitude in his voice. But he was not a happy camper, and who could blame him? Who can blame him at all? So let's go to Sean in the UK.
Hi, Gary. It's Sean in Bristol, UK. Just finished watching live coverage of the Orioles against the Mets Wednesday evening. It was Wednesday evening here. Being swept by the worst team in the majors at the moment has just put this team to an all-time low. I mean, the SNY cameras were going around the dugout, showing them, and just everybody just looked absolutely. They looked shell-shocked at the moment. There's just nothing happening offensively at the moment, and I feel complete sympathy at the moment for Zach Wheeler and Stephen Matz, who are pitching really good at the moment. They're pitching deep into 7 innings, and along come the middle relievers and just completely blow it. Offense can't support them, and grim is the word coming up with, and that's just putting it mildly. I've got to say it, Gary, and I know it's been mentioned, but maybe we should start thinking about rebuilding. Let's trade away our key assets. I know, this season could turn around at any time, but at the moment, I'm just not seeing any positive thing in the team at the moment. Sandy Alston's just bringing in these guys who are well past their prime now, and it's just like sticking a plaster over a sinking ship. Everybody, love your show, and catch up with you soon. Cheers, Aaron.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for taking the time, and it was a pleasure to talk to you again, and pleasure to get your voicemail as well. But yeah, you can see, Sean's talking about a rebuild, but Sandy Alderson says we're not going to rebuild. They don't work all the time. They're not considering or even talking about a possibility of rebuilding their roster. They need to restock. They need to retool. They need to do something. They don't have the players in the farm system to bring up and replace these guys. And that's a problem. That's got to be fixed. That situation's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed fast, man. They got to make some trades, do something. All right, we got another voicemail from Jerry in Long Island, and let's see what Jerry has to say.
Hello, this is Jerry from Long Island. I have a question and a trade. The question is, will Reyes be traded on the current homestand, or will the Mets wait till the road trip at 3 a.m.? And the trade I have is DeGrom and Cespedes, the Angels for Trout. What do you think of that? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for the voicemail. First off, nobody's going to trade for Reyes. Nobody wants him. He's going to have to be released. There's nobody that's going to want to trade for him. I wouldn't. And as far as the trade, DeGrom and Cespedes for Trout, I wouldn't make the trade if I was California. They don't want that contract. They'll take DeGrom. They're going to want Conforto and Nimmo. They're going to want another pitcher. And they might want a couple of more prospects that are pitchers. But DeGrom and Cespedes is not going to get it done. Not at all. All right, maybe it's time to take a break, and we'll come back with a little bit more news. We'll touch a little bit on the draft and see what else comes up after that. But here we go. Take a listen to these messages.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com, along with Mets Musings and other great baseball podcasts.
Looking for great Cardinals talk? Then check out Conversations with C70. My name's Daniel Shoftaw, and I talk with some of the great bloggers on the internet today about their teams, but it always goes back to the Cardinals. Find the latest episode on my website, www.cardinal70.com, or at baseballpodcast.net.
Did you know that Baseball PhD can be heard on baseballtalkradio.com?
Our shows rotate with other top baseball podcasts.
Now don't forget, that's baseballtalkradio.com.
With us, we'll help you get a PhD in life through baseball.
With baseballtalkradio.com, you'll hear the rest of the excellent universe of baseball podcasts.
516-619-6341. That is the comment voicemail hotline if you'd like to be a part of the show. And drop us a line, leave us a comment or a voicemail, question, anything at all. Call that number, 516-619-6341. Or go to MetsMusings.com and click on that widget in the middle of the screen, and that's a speak pipe, and you can leave a voicemail right through your computer through your computer's microphone. Or if you prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, send us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/groups/MetsMusings, and the Twitter handle is at MetsMusings1.
With all the Mets news, it is the news from around the world and around the corner. Here's Gary Mack.
Okay, and let's see some Mets news if it wasn't depressing enough. The contract extension that GM Sandy Alderson agreed to last season runs through 2019, reports John Heyman of FanRag, who says Alderson is currently in good standing despite the team's recent struggles. That Alderson had agreed to extension has been known since last year, but the length was not. The 70-year-old Alderson took over as GM after the 2010 season, replacing Omar Minaya, who is now back in the organization in a front office role with an emphasis on amateur scouting. So he's back. He's not going anywhere. And that's it's not a good thing. It's not a good sign for this organization that they're going to keep him around for another couple of years. I guess the thing got real bad, they would just can him, but, haven't reached that point yet. All right, Monday of this week was the amateur draft, and the Mets picked 6th. And with their first pick, they picked an outfielder in high school. I'm not a big fan of picking high school kids early in the draft. Because most of the time, they're projects. And they need help faster than that. But the Mets, in their wisdom, picked Jared Kelenic from Waukesha West High School in Wisconsin. He's an outfielder. He hits left and throws left. He's a senior in high school, 6'1", 190. He is the number 1 pick of the New York Mets. The second pick was, wait for it, another high school kid, Simeon Woods Richardson, a right-handed pitcher. Here we go with the pitchers again. Okay. Third pick was Carlos Cortez from South Carolina University, finally a college kid. And they essentially the second day picked a lot of college kids, and Jim Callis of MLB Pipeline had the Mets doing pretty good on the second day of the draft. He was impressed with the collection of collegiate right-handed relievers who can ramp it up to the mid-90s and beyond. That means they're just waiting for Tommy John surgery to happen. Those 3 relievers are Adam Hill, who the Mets got in the 4th round, Riley Gillian, who they got in the 5th, and Bryce Montes de Oca, who they got in the 9th round. Callis thinks that Gilliam, who could be among the first players from this draft to reach the majors, he thinks that's highly of him. The Mets' first draft pick, by the way, Kelenic, got good reviews. Everybody thought it was a good choice. Best hitter, prep school hitter on the board at the time. Blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. So they got kudos for that. Not so for the second pick. Big project, which means years and years and years to wait and see whether or not he will pan out. But the 3rd through 10th picks were very strong that the Mets picked. Now, with the 15th pick, they picked a kid from a fairly local kid from Wagner College, a catcher, Phil Capra, so we'll keep an eye on him. And in the 11th round, they picked a kid from Copeg High School here out on Long Island, Franklin Para. We'll see. He joins the Justin Dunn and Anthony Kay and Steven Matz and as Long Island kids that have been selected by the Mets, and we'll see where they come. And speaking of Justin Dunn, he was just selected promoted, I should say, from High A St. Lucie to Double A Binghamton, and that should be really part of our farm report. So let's go down on the farm. So as I was saying, Justin Dunn, the number 1 pick in the 2016 draft, is coming off his best outing as a professional, having tossed 7.0 scoreless innings while allowing 2 hits, walking 1, and striking out 10. He is going to Binghamton. And let's see if he can keep it going from that point. If he can continue to have a good year like he's been having so far, he could move up the ladder quickly. And maybe we'll see him sooner than later in a Mets uniform at Citi Field. And congratulations to Nabil Krismat. He was named the Eastern League Professional Baseball Pitcher of the Week in 2 starts from May 28th to June 3rd, Chris Matt earned a pair of wins and compiled a 1.26 ERA over 14 1/3 innings. He tossed 7 1/3 innings of one-run ball against the Erie Seawolves on Tuesday before going the distance in a 7-inning complete game against the New Hampshire Fisher Cats on Sunday, which I believe was the doubleheader. So congratulations to enable Chris Matt. And 3 St. Lucie Mets have been selected to the 2018 Florida State League South Division All-Star Team. Right-handed relief pitchers Ryder Ryan, Matt Blackham, and Matt Polberico earned a distinction. Ryan was named to the initial All-Star team, but he has since been promoted to Binghamton and will not participate. Blackham and Polberico were chosen as alternates for Ryan and Bradenton's Eduardo Vera, who was also promoted to Double-A. Ryan made 16 relief appearances for St. Lucie, went 1-0 with 2 saves. He allowed just 4 earned runs in 20.1 innings for a shiny 1.77 ERA. Ryan was acquired by the Mets last August in a trade with Cleveland in exchange for Jay Bruce. Blackham and Polberico, I'm really butchering that, have been equally as dominant. Blackham leads the Mets with 4 wins and is 2 for 2 in save chances. He has given up only 5 earned runs in 23.2 innings for a 1.90 ERA. Polberico leads St. Lucie with 4 saves in 4 opportunities. He has allowed only 2 earned runs in 14 games for a 0.95 ERA. He has got 8 hits, struck out 25. Opponents are batting 131 against him. He was signed as a minor league free agent in 2017. The 57th Florida State League All-Star Game will be played Saturday, June 16th at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. And the Columbia Fireflies, it's getting near that time of year, will be well represented at the South Atlantic League All-Star Game later this month, as the team will send 4 representatives to Greensboro, North Carolina. Fireflies pitcher David Peterson and Joe Cavallaro, catcher Scott Minea, and first baseman Jeremy Vasquez received the nod on Tuesday, the league announced. Peterson, the Mets' first-round draft choice in 2017, has enjoyed a stellar first pro season, ranking 6th in the SAL in ERA, 7th in WHIP, and 11th in opponent's batting average. The 22-year-old has been strong over his last 3 starts, during which he struck out 22. Cavallaro has been one of the nicest surprises in Columbia, as the 2017 24th round pick has been one of the team's most consistent arms. The former USF Bull is tied for second in the league in wins with 6, 10th in strikeout percentage, 26.8, and he's yet to allow more than 3 earned runs in a start this season. After a nondescript first 2 seasons in pro ball, Minea, a non-drafted free agent signing, got off to a raging hot start, hitting .298 in April. He's cooled off since then, but it's satisfying to see a grinder get rewarded for his play. Good for you, Scott. And Vasquez is most notable for his 29-game on-base streak to begin this season, but the former 28th round pick has maintained an OPB above 400 through the season's first 50 games. He couldn't replicate his April, but he's been having a pretty good May and June so far anyway. So congratulations to those 4 guys. And the 3 in the Florida State League making their respective all-star teams. And last night was not a good night for Vegas. They lost 16-4, and strange thing about it was Aaron Laffey, who the Mets signed a couple of weeks ago, I guess, he was pitching, and by the end of the evening, he had given up 14 runs and quit baseball. Hours after allowing 12 earned runs in a 16-4 loss to the New Orleans Baby Cakes, Laffey pulled the plug on a career to spend over 10 big league seasons and more than 50 major league starts. In his first two appearances with Vegas, Laffey gave up 7 and 8 runs respectively as he filled in for a very thin rotation in Las Vegas. They needed the arm. The Mets signed him. Nice signing, Sandy. He was pitching for the Somerset Patriots at the time. And just gave up the runs and gave up. So he's gone. Only Sandy can find guys that'll pitch and give up 7, 8, and 12 runs and then retire and leave everybody holding the bag. Binghamton beat Harrisburg 4-0. And strange thing about this game, I put this game on. Peter Alonso hit his 15th homer of the year. But the guy who was up at bat for Harrisburg looked very familiar. And I heard him say Murphy. It turns out it was Daniel Murphy. He's down in Harrisburg, but he's playing first base. Interesting. He had knee surgery, that microfracture, whatever they call it, surgery. And he's still recovering, hasn't played, but he's playing for the Double-A Harrisburg Senators now on a rehab assignment, and just strange to see him. And he's wearing number 6. So if you've got the MILB TV, perhaps you can tune in that game or watch it on they archive the game so you can watch them after they're over. And see Daniel Murphy if you would like in another uniform. Not the Tampa Bay, but not the Washington, but pretty close, as Harrisburg has uniforms very close. I don't know what that means. Tampa defeated St. Lucie 4-1. And Charleston defeated Columbia 6-5. So that's the roundup around the down on the farm, and pretty much that's all I got for this week. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you to expect. 3 with the Yankees as they come into Citi Field. Then they go on a road, 2 in Atlanta, and then they head to Arizona for 4. But we'll talk about that next week. I don't know. You know what I want to tell you? I want to tell you to keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. But it's getting harder and harder every day to try to say that and to try to do that. But try to do it anyway. What else have we got? They got to start hitting. Something's got to break sometimes. All right. Till the next time, remember, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets.